The core purpose of or mission of EID Parry is enriching and energizing lives by creating value from agriculture. We have three businesses in EID Parry: sugar, biopesticides and nutraceuticals. And therefore, when we are talking of energizing or enriching lives, we are talking of all stakeholders across the entire value chain, and this includes our farmers who supply sugarcane for our sugar business. Now, let me actually take you through the nutraceuticals R&D. The R&D center for the nutraceutical business is today based in Thiruvattriyur. It works on technology for cultivation, for harvesting and for downstream processing of microalgae, and microalgae is used extensively in human wellness. We started work with spirulina in the area of microalgae and thereafter extended to Haematococcus, which is used for producing astaxanthin, a very strong antioxidant, EP algae for omega 3, and now we have even moved to areas like organic chlorella, which is used for anti-aging. In addition to microalgae, our R&D also works on enabling the business to move up the value chain by producing products like phycocyanin, and now we are working on items like vegan omega 3 and so on. So, essentially these new products which are higher up the value chain will be a unique blend for multiple health benefits. Like biopesticides, the nutraceutical business is set to more than double its business in the next 3 to 4 years, and R&D is going to play a very key role in enabling this to happen with new products in terms of microalgae and new products which are higher up in terms of the value chain.
R&D scope. R&D scope involves development of new algae. In the development of new algae process, we have to screen the best algae to give outdoor production. So during this process, it has to go through the indoor cultivation aspect and outdoor pilot scale level cultivation withstanding. Then after once it is stabilized in the outdoor condition, we will develop the harvesting methodology. Next to that, product characterization. Once we receive the powder, final product, then that product has to undergo the profiling, which are all the essential for human nutrition and benefits. So that for that it has to go through the characterization by using our equipments. We have HPLC and GC and various other equipments. So there it will go through the characterization method. Finally, then it will go for the stability study. Once we get the final product, two different stability studies. One is accelerated condition. Accelerated condition is nothing but it has to withstand the heat and humidity. Based on that, we can create a shelf life for the product. Then that will be very helpful for our final marketing aspects. Then after that, once we completed all this area, we will go for our patent right. These are the highly confidential things what we are doing. We will have our own copyright, so it will go for a patent filing. These are all the things involving in our R&D scope. Major facilities available at R&D. We have two major area here. Before equipment area, I'll go to this major important critical area. That is, one is culture collection. There we are maintaining mother culture. Here we maintain mother culture. Almost each species we have several mother culture, which are all always keeping as a mother culture. Which is why we are keeping here means. Here we have to keep in a sterile condition and by periodic subculturing, because it has to have a high potential. When it goes outside, it has to withstand the external heat and it has to produce the required nutrient profile. So that for that we are keeping in a vital condition by periodic subculture. So after that, once it is done, more than that, any natural calamities. Many times, like last year, we had a flood in Chennai actually. So that time we will lose everything, whatever the culture we are having in the outdoor activity, completely it will go by dilution or it will go by flood actually. In that condition, we need to have a backup culture here. So that time we can straight away we can start from the indoor culture. Then we can bring back the activity within no time without losing any time delay. This is the critical area for mother culture room. This is the heart of our business. This mother culture room. Here we are maintaining all the mother culture in vital condition. Number 2. Raceway ponds. Raceway ponds is also one of the culture cultivation. Everything is stabilized in indoor after all the growth condition from flask to tub. It will go to the tub actually. Then the tub actually it will be in the indoor condition, but again it is open. So here itself we will take it outside from a flask to a tub area. There it will withstand. Then from tub straight away it has to go to outdoor pond. Outdoor pond we have several smaller ponds. Right from 1 meter square to 100 meter square pond. So 1 meter square pond initially we will keep several growth conditions like it has to withstand first heat. So we will keep a different depth to withstand the heat. Then after that once we finalize the depth condition, then we will go for a different nutrition. That is nothing but nitrogen, phosphate and potassium for a plant. So there we will find the nutrient aspect to get the proper profile from this particular algae. So there once we stabilize, we slowly will increase from 1 meter square to 3 meter square. There we will have agitation. There agitation, what happened? No, there because why agitation? It is like a natural. By natural, you can see the sea water or fresh water. You can see the movement. The why movement is critical is it has to get the proper sunlight, proper mixing. Then only it will get each and every algae will get the proper nutrition. So for that only we are keeping the mixing one. Mixing there, mixing also what happen now? Sometimes it will be fast RPM, sometimes it is slow. So we will each and every algae it will have its own specific nature. Some algae it will take high velocity, some algae it will take some no movement at all. So those things will get stabilized in the 3 meter square pond. Once that bigger pond is stabilized, then it will go to the further bigger pond, 50 meter square pond. There we will do the same thing. Whatever we have established here, we will follow there. There again, what happened? No, here only we are going for a downstreaming. What happened? Once it gets enough cell number, then we will decide to take a harvest. During harvest time, we will have since it is the first algae, we will just some algae it will filter by settling by centrifuge. Some algae we have to go for natural flocculants. So those things will be stabilized in the 50 meter square pond level. So finally, once we establish or establish that harvesting methodology, harvesting will happen. So after harvest, we will collect the biomass. That biomass only will bring it to the freeze dryer. Significant equipments available at R&D and how it helps for this our R&D research. We have a microscope. Microscope is again the heart of our R&D activity. Unless this microscope, we cannot find out the healthiness of the cells and growth of the cells and when we can harvest those things and all, we will get it done by examining the microscope. Every day from indoor level to outdoor culture, we will check examine the cells, healthiness, everything, but 3 or 4 times a day to find out even if it is the indoor culture, any other contamination appears in the indoor area. In outdoor condition, any protozoans, those other green algae, other algal contaminations and all will get identified through this microscope. Without this microscope, we cannot even move one day. Then next to microscope, spectrophotometer. Spectrophotometer also plays very significant. Without spectrophotometer, there we measure the growth of the culture. How we measure the growth? It will have a different algae will have a different color. By optical density, whether it is growing or not growing, we can find out from the spectrophotometer. Also through spectrophotometer, we do so many colorimetry like nitrate, phosphate, those things and all will getting analyzed from the culture or filtrate. So based on the results, spectrophotometer result, we can add or remove or not to add, those things and all will get finalized through spectrophotometer analysis. This is one of the major assets for our R&D. Next to spectrophotometer, we have HPLC and GC. From the GC, Once we harvest the final product or harvest the product, it will go to the freeze dryer. I will go first to freeze dryer. Freeze dryer, after harvesting, it will go to the freeze dryer. I already discussed the freeze dryer will have a major role here, because if you dry in sunlight or spray dryer, there is so many methods of drying is there. So if we have a spray dryer at our facility, but here what happen now, if to find out the right chemistry or right profile in this particular algae, it has to dry through the freeze dryer under freeze condition. So then only the whole nutrient will intact. So once it dried from the freeze dryer, that dried product will take it for a further analysis, further profiling. Whatever, suppose if it is one particular algae, the specific, each algae will have a different nutrient profile. One algae will have a fatty acids, those things will be analyzed from gas chromatograph. So gas chromatograph, we can analyze fatty acids like omega-3, GLA, those things all will getting analyzed, and we can identify and quantify the fatty acids through gas chromatograph. If it is a carotenoids, that is the chlorophyll and the beta carotene and fucoxanthin, these things and all will be analyzed and identified and quantified through HPLC. These are the major. Without this quantification, we cannot move further. We cannot move further for scaling up or commercial level. So once we finalize, we can develop methods or procedure. So we develop the analysis procedure. Also, we identify the profile and quantify the profiles through HPLC and GC. After goes to the production facility, then we will go to along with the culture. Then we will work along with our production team till it gets stabilized there. Whatever the indoor cultivation method, whatever the outdoor cultivation method, it has to withstand the same thing, follow up there also with the production team. Finally, once they get the production, till they stabilize the production for the productivity improvement and controlling contamination, many things there in the production facility. So once everything is done, they will also go for a harvest, they will get a final product. That final product will come here for the stability purpose, stability study. Stability study is nothing but, I told you, shelf life. How many years we can keep it in the shelf. So 1 year, it depends on the product, it will vary. So we will do the stability study here, then we will declare the result to the QA department. Based on our result, they will declare the stability study. This is the stability chamber. This is the equipment wise that helps, how it helps to the R&D. Major achievements so far from R&D. Spirulina was the first work to start with R&D from 1993. That time already it was existing in the production facility at our Uniyur. There we were facing some problem on harvesting. The harvesting means we could not achieve the efficiency to expected level at 85 to, we were around 25 to 30% level efficiency. So we were given task to improve the harvest efficiency. So for that, to improve the harvest efficiency, we started the cultivation, spirulina cultivation here at R&D. Then we used to there is a special equipment called vibromation. Through vibromation we were trying to with various mesh sizes to filter the algae to get the maximum efficiency. So we identified the right filter media, that means mesh 90 and above efficiency. That was the first achievement from R&D. The same has been transferred to the production facility. Right now they are continuing the same methodology for harvesting. Of course, that further fine tuning, and every year they are doing their own improvements to improve the productivity. That was the first one from 1993 to 95. Subsequently, during that spirulina production, spirulina harvest methodology, we were initiated Dunaliella algae, that is marine algae, that is for beta carotene. Vitamin A precursor, it is a very good antioxidant. Not that isomers is a different way, this will better absorption in the body, which helps to repair the free radical cells. What happened now, due to the stress or pollution, naturally our body will get weak and the cells will get damaged. To control that damage, this particular beta carotene helps to control the free radicals in the human body. For that, we developed this particular algae, we got the strain from culture collection. We developed the technology it went through the whole process like indoor cultivation, outdoor cultivation, harvesting, downstreaming, extraction of this particular beta carotene. Then finally we developed transferred the technology to the production facility. There it was there more than up to 5 acre level production for more than so we stopped the activity at Oniyur. So we thought we will go for marine facility where we will start growing this particular algae for beta carotene production. So this is also one of the successful technology developed at R&D and transferred to the production facility. That was also one of the success story from R&D. Next to this beta carotene, phycocyanin. Phycocyanin is a byproduct from spirulina. Spirulina, since they were already there in the production at our Oniyur production facility, we want to develop some phycocyanin. This is a byproduct from spirulina, which is highly antioxidant, which is help for cancer industries. So we developed a technology to extract byproduct of phycocyanin as a byproduct from spirulina. That technology we developed again. We transferred the technology to production facility. There, even now they are getting extracting this phycocyanin whenever on need basis for a customer supply. So this is also one of the technology developed in this R&D. Next to this phycocyanin, we were in another freshwater algae called Hematococcus. Hematococcus is also one of the potent antioxidant. Compared with other beta carotene, this is a more powerful antioxidant, almost 10 times more powerful antioxidant than this beta carotene. Okay, what happened? This algae took maximum time for us to stabilize, because this particular algae is to grow in a colder temperature. Knowing about this potential of this algae, we wanted to start our R&D. Since we are specialized in outdoor cultivation, why not to take this algae also to outdoor condition after stabilization from indoor? So we got the culture from German culture collection. Then again it went through the whole process, indoor techniques and outdoor techniques. Then after went to outdoor, we developed the harvesting methodology for this particular algae. Then after establishing harvest method, we profiling done at our SPLC and JC. Then once everything is done, so okay, it is a very potential. We had some good productivity, everything we have completed here. Then we transfer the technology to the production facility Oniyur around during 2002 or 2000 to 2003. There also it is successfully we went along with the culture and stabilized the cultivation with the help of production and people. So this also one of the achievement. And technology transfer from successful technology from R&D to production facility. After the successful technology transfer of Hematococcus, subsequently we have already initiated cultivation aspect on omega-3 algae. Omega-3 is a different story. What happened across the world, no one was thought about this vegetarian omega-3. Right now, for so many women, all the people they will have cod liver oil, fish oil as a source of omega-3, which is they think is highly beneficial for heart health. So we thought, why not? Actually, fish and whatever the source they are eating that particular algae, which is available in the sea water or fresh water. This is actually algae. The algae, that fish eats that particular algae, then they will accumulate in their body. Then we extract the omega-3 from the fish. Many vegetarian people doesn't like the smell and this taste actually. So for that we were thinking of going with vegetarian omega-3 source. So this is the background we have initiated this study. We were the first people across the world to start with this particular algae. Okay. So for this omega-3 algae, we have sourced several strains from local, like CMFR, Central for Marine Fisheries, and also from UTEX, University of Texas. So we got, by the time we received the culture, many culture got damaged. It was not even growing inside. Then also local strain also we are trying that content was very less. Then during by screening, why not we try with our own isolate from our sea water, since we are close to Bay of Bengal. Actually we used to do so many other things for sea water using for cultivation and all. So we found the particular algae like what we have received for from the culture collection. So why not we isolate ourselves? So in that background we have isolated that particular omega-3 algae from Bay of Bengal. Then we went through again the same process. Screening it for us to screening the monoalgal culture took 1 year. We feel it is a very great achievement. Within a year we have got a monoalgal culture. Then we have screened for that fatty acids and whatever that important omega-3 levels and all. Once we have done indoor and outdoor stabilization, then it went to again outdoor condition. There also we have got actually excellent growth and we have very good productivity of that particular fatty acids. Then we will get analyzed at our gas chromatograph. So it was yielding as per our expectation. So finally we have decided to go for the production level. Okay. This also we have successfully developed the technology. This we have got our own patent. US patent, it is already published in the US patent. We are waiting for Indian patent. It is already final hearing is completed actually. This is the story of began omega-3 mainly for this is mainly for heart health. Excellent and successful technology again we transferred. Then finally another algae. It is called chlorella. It is like a spirulina. It is wholesale we can eat. I mean like a food supplement. That has got high chlorophyll in the plant kingdom. So we initially started again for chlorella cultivation. Again the same process in R&D. We got this particular strain from our Madras University. Then we developed the indoor level growth studies, completed and established the growth media, everything. Then we transferred from outdoor our pilot scale level, I mean organic source. So again with the knowledge gained so far, it took us within a year time we established the cultivation and harvest methodology in outdoor condition as organic chlorella. So within a year time we developed this technology and transferred the technology to the production facility. There again we went along with the culture and we worked along with our production team to stabilize there. Still right now it is in a 5-acre level production, but still it has to go a long way, very early stage. There now productivity improvement studies are going on, now production people are taking care of the production. So this is again one more successful story and successful technology transfer from R&D to commercial exploitation at 1 year. This is an organic ongoing projects. What are all going here is one is marine spirulina. This is nothing but using sea water to grow our spirulina. Phycosarin, I already told you, this is very good antioxidant and it will be in the good the cancer industries and all. Also now lot of people that are using it is approved, FDA approved as a natural color, food color. So now it is very good market for food color actually. So with that background we can also grow this spirulina using seawater in our marine facility. We have a marine facility in Sitarkote in Ramnad. So there we thought we will use this technique or technology to grow this algae and harvest and extract from this algae, phycosarin extract from this algae, use it for color market. So this is the background. We have started this marine algae cultivation here. We have done successfully. We are waiting to explore the opportunity at our marine facility at Ramnad. Omega-3 what happened? As I told you earlier, we did stop in our own production facility because of the seawater, salt water contamination. So after getting the approval, we started this cultivation activity at Sitarkote, the Ramnad marine facility. There we have done almost more than 6 months now cultivation trial. This is mainly for omega-3, I told you. So after we got some biomass from that marine facility even for that EPA algae. So what happened now, we were very good at cultivation. we produced good amount of biomass. That this particular biomass we cannot use it as such. We have to get it extracted. Then only that omega-3 oil will come. So we didn't have that much knowledge or much experience on the extraction side. So we thought we will give some third party for which they were all good at extraction. So that after the trial we got good amount of biomass. That biomass we have given it to the extraction facility, third party. Currently they were doing the extraction trials. We have got samples also. The results are very encouraging, but they are yet to get the right chemistry or right physical properties. Maybe within 6 months time we will be in omega-3 production also. One more product will be in our product portfolio as a vegetarian omega-3. Euglena is another work we are doing in our R&D. This is a freshwater algae. This is again for immune enhancing sector. So far we are in the supplement side, the protein side, and omega-3 side. Here immune enhancing sector also we want to explore. For that we found the beta glucan. Beta glucan is a polysaccharide that is having a high immune power actually in the among the other algae. So we initiated these studies and we got the strain from Pune Culture Collection Center recently, 2-3 years, 2014. Then again it went through the same process, but we have done successfully cultivation in the under light aerobic condition. Then right now we are in outdoor 3 meter square pond, what we see, you people have seen there. So right now we are around 20% level actually. That polysaccharide level has to go up to 70-80% level. So that work is going on right now. So very soon this product also will be there in the pipeline as a immune enhancer, as a beta glucan from Euglena. Nanochlorosis again it is for omega-3. Compared with our earlier algae, this has got a high amount of omega-3, high fatty acid content. Since it is a high value product, we thought we will start this as a seasonal cultivation. Suppose if it is growing in the winter season, we can use this winter season for this particular algae cultivation. Right now we have started, after starting almost 3 months, we are getting very good cultivation, very good cell number, everything. It is biomass also increasing. We are also almost on par with other competitor samples, around 30 to 40% we are getting now. Slowly we will try to improve the productivity and scaling up the culture activity for omega-3. This from the Nanochlorosis algae. This is also recently we have started at R&D. So apart from in the ongoing project to work at R&D, we have recently initiated new product developments also from with algae, non-algae also. We are planning to launch some new product in our product portfolio. With that we have categorized 3 area. One is grains. Grains means whatever the existing product. We have spirulina and chlorella. These are the grain algae. So we thought we will mix this chlorella and spirulina one product as a spirulina chlorella mix for a supplement which has got high multivitamins and proteins. That is also one product we are planning. Then another product, spirulina itself, we have a tablet and powder only so far. So why not we go for enrichment with the vitamin? So with that we have initiated vitamin C enrichment with the spirulina. That product we already made it, and right now currently it is in the for a stability studies going on. Most probably within using natural source for vitamin C in the spirulina. So it will have a spirulina with the vitamin C added value to the product. So one more product also. So this is already in production, stability stage. Very soon it is we are going to launch this product for vitamin C with spirulina source. Then also selenium. Selenium is the micro minerals and micronutrients. This is also very good for our health. So these 3 products comes under spirulina. Then spirulina and chlorella also one more product. Then from spirulina we are planning to go for granules, flavored granules. Many people, since it has got its own protein smell, many people doesn't like the smell of the spirulina product. So we thought we will use a natural flavors and making a little bigger size particles to have a better flowability. Some people they can use sprinkle the granules and eat it. So for that purpose we have initiated the granules also. Spirulina powder we made it a granule form with natural flavor. That is also there in the pipeline. Already we have initiated the stability study. We made some 2-3 flavors and it is there in the stability study. We have sent the sample also for market evaluation. We are waiting for feedback to start the next product in the market. This is under grains. Spirulina protein. What happened? Spirulina is if you take our palm tea, like the spirulina will have a multi benefits actually. We can use all the area. So what happened after extraction of spirulina, we will get protein. Actually, spirulina will have some 15 to 60% protein. If you take 1 gram, it will be 600 milligram protein or 500 milligram protein will be there. That is a very good plant source. Protein, you know how much essential for body or human consumption. So since it is a plant protein, it is having a very high value. So recently we have decided to go extract the spirulina, protein from spirulina. That will come as one of the product in the portfolio. So very soon we are going to launch spirulina protein also in our basket. So then next to this plant protein, spirulina protein, from this planning to go for multinol. Multinol means multi vitamins, multi product. So with using this, keeping this spirulina protein as main ingredients, we thought we'll use natural fruits and natural nuts and other essential amino acids, everything we will plan to put it in the spirulina protein, then make it as a one more product as a multinol. This is also coming under one new product, green mix. Many nowadays you can see a lot of smoothies are there, they will mix it and eat away. So with this green mix, what we were planning, some area we can use for detoxification. So with the pollution, with so many things what we are consuming nowadays, we don't know how much toxins or toxicity accumulated in the body. So for that, if you add greens, what the chlorophyll always will remove the toxins in your body. So what happens when you take spirulina and chlorella mix, then we after with this mix we can add other vitamins also, other vital nutrients will add and make it one more product and make it as a daily drinks in the sachet forms. So recently we initiated the green mix. We thought initially we will go with use it for detoxification as to detox from the body, whatever the toxins or the heavy metal from the body, that this product is going to come in one more product as a green mix. Omega 3 is already told you know, so we are already produced, completed the trials, cultivation trial, we made some biomass, right now it is in the extraction facility. Once we get the right chemistry, right profile with the expected levels of fatty acids and the EPA level, very soon we are going to launch this also in one more product, vegetarian omega 3 in our product list. Then once we start, once we finalize the, introduce this product, we can also go for further formulation from omega 3. Omega 3 with lutein, it will do very good for eye and heart care. Also we are trying to mix with our own astaxanthin from Epidococcus. So that will have high antioxidant, potent antioxidant. It will be very good for your joint health. So these are all things we are planning to in the future from this product. These are all the new algae on a new product development we are planning in our R&D. Right now it is going on.
In general terms, as far as R&D is concerned, it coordinates the entire patent filing and approval process for entire EAD PARI. They regularly publish scientific papers in India and overseas journals. Our scientists participate and present papers at all national and international level conferences. They provide high level technical support to the marketing function and customers. If you want me to summarize what is the role of R&D again, I would put it as simply saying that R&D envisions the future of EID Parry. It creates the future of EID Parry. It guides the business to achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves in terms of a longer term plan. All in all, R&D is one of the most important functions in EID Parry and currently reports to the managing director as far as the sugar business is concerned and to the business heads as far as the biopesticides and the nutraceutical business is concerned. Thank you.